I think we are live. Yes, we are live. How you doing, folks? This is Tabletop Commanders. We're going to be doing a live play today with Blucher, one of my favorite sets of rules from Napoleonics. As you know, I've been painting up like crazy, trying to get my armies all amassed, so this is our big chance to have another game. It's going to be multi-players this time, not just Neil and me or Neil and Ian. We've got some sub-commanders going on here. And today our sub-commanders are Steve, who's right there, and Michael. And they'll both serve under the Russian command. And yeah, we're all good. Our gentlemen here know how to play the game. We're all set. But to give you guys a rundown of what's going to be going on in this, this is a Blucher battle. We're going to be using the Scharnhorst campaign. It's a mini campaign to actually set up the battle. It's kind of like a representation of the pre-battle maneuvers of the armies as they get into a position to fight. Once we get to that point, we'll be all set up to lay out our terrain, deploy our armies, and actually begin the battle in full. And we'll see what happens with that. Again, it's 1812, somewhere in there. It's completely fictional. But we do have an army led by Kutuzov for the Russians. Ian will be controlling that army. And going against Napoleon himself, obviously controlling the French. It's a pretty good battle, pretty good size. It's 300 points, made with the Blucher rules. So it's fairly good. And we are going to be using quite a big table for this. It might actually seem like the units are a bit small, considering the table, but that's only because probably my units are a little bit thinner than they should be. Basically, I'm just using two bases side by side, so they don't have a big presence on the tabletop. But hopefully it'll work out good, and you guys will be able to see the units at least follow along in the battle. So now I'll give a quick rundown of what we're going to do today, which again is Scharnhorst, and I'll show you what's going on. The first thing we're going to do is you're going to take a look at this beautiful map. See right there. It's lined up just right. One more thing I better do is, I'm going to present to everyone so everybody can see this map. And that's our map. This is what the armies will be maneuvering over till one player declares a battle. And that's basically a 6-square area of the map. Imagine in your head, imagine this being an actual tabletop layout. This square and this square. I say this square, this square, this square, and this square. So you got a little 6x4 table. Each of these squares represents a 2-foot square area. So I can see a 6x4 table here. 4 foot by 6 foot. So when a battle is declared, the side declaring the battle has to literally trace a battlefield. In other words, define what it is. And there's certain requirements to do that, but we'll get into that later on. The Russians, in this case, will be choosing the deployment side, or the point of entry, actually, the side that their army will enter from, first, before the French, because the Russians have gained the intelligence. They have more reconnaissance forces deployed, so they're able to take advantage of that by choosing the edge to come on from. The French will deploy on the opposite. In addition, the Russians will go first. They will deploy onto the map first. Now, when we deploy, you'll see these little markers. In this case, white will be Russian, and blue will be the French. They represent what's called columns. There's 4 French, there's 4 Russian, and they will be numbered. In this case, the first column for the French. This one here, the 4th column for the Russians. These will be what is moved on the map. And as these columns do that, alternately, Russians will move, the French will move one, the Russians will move another, the French will move another. That's what I mean by alternating. They will be moving to try and secure some of these built-up areas, which I marked on this map. It looks like a little crude building with a number next to it. This basically represents a village worth 1 victory point. And if you look at the map, you'll see there's 5 of these villages on the map. one is worth 1 victory point. Now, that'd be important to win the campaign. One of the ways to win is the victory points. So they're going to be trying to capture these villages simply by moving into the square. They do so. There is also some towns here. There's 2 of them, actually. One here, one here. Now, these are a little bit bigger, and they're worth a little bit more in victory points. As you can see, 2 victory points. So these are important spots in the campaign as well. And as we progress through the movement, the columns move closer to one another, you'll probably see a battle around some of these objectives, these built-up areas, which will be cool. And they'll be represented on the tabletop. And I guess both armies will be fighting very aggressively to get those built-up areas, if the victory point values are close. And we'll keep track of it between both sides. So Ian, Neil, make sure you keep track of your victory points as you capture them. Also on the map, you'll see terrain features here. We've got swampy marshes here next to this river, which you can see. The river borders various squares in this case. There's one down here as well. Those are minor rivers. Slow to cross and be difficult to cross during a battle. You got some marshland here, which will be difficult ground during a battle. It has no effect on the campaign play. You also see some woods. These are large forests. We've got a single hill here. We've got 2 hills down here in the south. We've got these marked as 2 hills areas. There's 2 bumps. They're hills. These are large hills. They look like cliffs, but they're actually large hills. And some plowed fields. The only thing that regulates or has an effect on movement is the roads and the waterway, the minor river. It costs extra movement points to cross. Otherwise, that's pretty much how it works. Now, to enter a square, it costs 2 movement points out of 6. Each column has a maximum movement of 6 points to spend. It costs 2 to enter a square, no matter what's in that square. If it has to cross a stream, it costs an extra movement point. If it's following along a road, which you can see here, it's this round little pathway. If it enters a square from one of these, like boom, you can count that road. And it costs basically 1 less than it normally does to enter this other square. Just little basics on how movement is regulated. Again, both sides have 6 movement points. Now, initially, in the first turn, both sides only have 3 movement points to move on to the map with. After that, the second turn, which is basically a day representation, they'll have 6 movement points to spend. Columns could also scout one another. Costs a movement point to do that if you're adjacent to an enemy column. They could also overrun an enemy column if they gain a 4-to-1 in units advantage over that enemy column. And that would force the enemy column to reveal its contents, a number of units, types, number of units, and retreat, which causes fatigue. Keep that in mind, gentlemen, as we play this battle. Now again, the Russians have gained scouting, or they've out-scouted the French, so they have an advantage there. And that was determined earlier. And if you know Scharnhorst, that's achieved by having more units than the opponent assigned to recon duty. And it's cavalry that can be counted for that. The Russians put more into it. Any questions?
No. Good.
All right, folks. Let's get this underway. I think we're ready. All right, Ian, you're first. Kudasov. Tell me, you obviously don't want to start a battle yet, and that's always the first thing you declare in the start of a turn, is whether or not you want to declare a battle.
No, I don't wish to declare a battle, but I can say that I want to enter the table from the east.
Okay.
And the first column I want to move is column 2. And I want that to come in on the road at D8. Yeah. I want it to move its full 3 along the road.
Okay, this will cost you 1 because you're entering in a road. I'll give you the road.
1,
That's 2.
2, and the next one. 3. That's it.
You gained 2 victory points.
Yeah.
All right, Napoleon, what would you like to do?
Can I have the second column come in at C? And yeah, just move straight forward to as far along C as you can go. So basically there, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right, Gustav?
Okay, column 4 will come in at C8.
It's 2.
Yeah, and that'll do.
You
Okay,
gained
can I
1 victory point.
have column 3 come along at E1 and move to E2.
That's 2 movement points.
Yeah, that'll do. As far as I want that to go.
You have 1 victory point, Neil.
Hey.
Column 1 will come along the road and stop behind column 2 in the town. Yeah. You can't stack them, can you? There's got to be 1 in each square.
Nope, no stacking.
Yeah, that's right. That's me done.
Alright, and put column 1 behind on square E1.
Good.
Yep, that's good.
That ends the first day of maneuvering. Oh, sorry.
Whoa, hang about, pal. Hang about, pal. Still got 1 to move. And 3, they'll be on the road behind the town, so he'll be on the D8.
There?
Yes. Yeah, that'll do.
All right, now we go to the second day of maneuvering. That's the French again, or the Russians. You have 6 movement points.
Who's moving first? Sorry, isn't it French now?
No, it's you. It's the Russians.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah, you
right.
have-
Oh, sorry, I was thinking that it was Neil moving first. Right. In that case, I've got 6, haven't I? So the column 4 will advance straight across as far as he can to the west. So that should take him to that village.
6
Yeah.
movement points were spent. You are now in the village Chmelski. You gained 1 more victory point.
Right.
You now have 4 in total. Before you is a big river.
Okay, can I move column 3? And I want to move him to E3. 1, E4, 2, and E5 to take him up to 4 points. Yeah.
You gained 1 victory point. Yanzi, I believe it's called. Village. By the way, this isn't considered adjacent to an enemy, because adjacent is literally like this. Diagonals are not counted.
Okay.
Okay.
2 more movement points, Neil, if you want to spend it.
No. I'm quite happy there.
All right, Russians.
Right. Okay. Column 2 will move south Along the road for the first one.
One.
Yeah. And then into the hills, the one below that. F6.
It's going to cost you 2 movement points.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll cost you 3. I'm sorry, because you have to.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do, mate.
French.
Yeah, can I have column 1? I move to E2, E3, E4, D4, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that'll do.
Right.
Now, scouting is something you do for an extra movement point, as long as you're adjacent. It allows you to reveal what the other guy has in that column in terms of number of units.
If you declare a battle, Curtis, does it have to be at the beginning of a turn, or does it have to be any time?
It's the beginning of your turn, the very beginning.
Right, okay. Column 1 will move east along that road.
West, you mean?
Sorry, yeah, west along the road, and then south. Yeah, no, south, that's it. Yeah, that'll do. Oh, hang on, I've still got some points left, haven't I?
You just used 2 points out of 6.
Yes, I'll use a point to scout out that adjacent enemy unit.
Okay, that's 3 movement points. Neil, reveal how many units, infantry, cavalry, and artillery, are in column 3.
4 infantry, 2 cavalry, 1 artillery.
Write that down, Neil, or Ian.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were only had to only just give the numbers. You didn't have to give the breakdown. But if that's what's going to happen, then obviously I'll do the same. But I think in the rules you'll find you only have to give the numbers, not the breakdown. But that's fine. I'll do the same if he scouts me.
Yeah, that's right, Neil. You didn't have to tell him the infantry, cavalry, and artillery, just the total. So the total.
Well, that's fine. But that was just a mistake, so we'll just carry on with the same. Then that's fine.
All right. Are you done, Ian, or do you want to keep on moving? Like, oops. Sorry, Neil.
All right, column 2. I want him to move east, in a straight line as far as he'll go. So up to C4.
That's 2 points.
Yeah.
3, 4,
Yeah.
5, 6.
Yep.
All right. Neil, you just.
Right, column 3.
Wait a minute. Neil just gained an extra victory point, so he's got a total of 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Ian.
I thought you had 4. Has he got 3 points?
3 points.
All right, okay. I thought you had a town. I didn't realise. I thought you. Okay, 3. Right. So column 3 will just go east. Sorry, west. I'll get it right in a minute. And it'll go 2 squares. 1, 2. That's it.
All right, victory points. 4 points for the Russians, 3 for the French.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go into the next day. Now, Ian, you start off.
Right. Well, I'd like to declare a battle.
Woohoo!
How would you like to define it?
Right. I'd like the top left-hand corner will be D5. It'll go across 1, and down. So those 6 squares.
All right, now let's see here. First of all, this one of these units, an adjacent column has to be at least 5 units in strength. Now the only unit that's adjacent is this one. There are at least 5 units in column 1.
Let me have a look and see. Yes, because let me see, I nearly said what it was then. Yes, there are.
All right. You also have to have another column that's at least in the middle of this, either this square or this square, basically, which you do.
Yeah.
This is a legal battlefield. So everything in here during this turn is froze. They cannot move. Okay? Now, you can move the rest of your force, which is this unit here. So if you want, you could move into this square, be on the flank of his column 3. It's going to be pretty bad. And your unit will be deployed on the tabletop at the start of the battle. If you don't move him, he has a chance of coming on as reinforcements later on during the battle. You remember how that works. You make a die roll for each turn to bring him on. As the battle progresses, the better his chances of coming on. Or you could just move now.
Yeah, I'll move him on to South 1 Square, across the river.
That would cost you 1, 2, 3, and that's it.
Okay.
It goes to you, Neil. At this point, column number 1 could come on as reinforcements during the battle, okay? Because he's adjacent to this tabletop. Column 2 is not. You're going to have to move him.
Okay. Right, let's move column 2 to C5 and take the town.
That gives you another victory point. You now have 4 victory points. The French have captured the majority of the villages in this region. And the Russians have captured a town and some villages.
Can I move in 1 square forward to C6?
You could. That'll cost you, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to go in. That's it.
That's that. And then column number 1. So how does the reserves work?
During the battle, every turn, you're going to make a die roll to see if reinforcements arrive. As the battle progresses, it'll get easier and easier to do that. But basically, don't expect them too soon.
Okay. All right. Column 1.
When they do come on, Neil, come on, they come on from where they're positioned on this map. This unit will come on from this direction.
Yeah.
And this one from here.
All right. Column 1. Move it to E4.
It's going to cost you 1 plus 1 for leaving this zone of control, so 2.
No, down E4.
It costs you 3, 2.
Okay. Then to F4.
4.
And then across to F5.
6.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, there it is. And that's the end of that. So that's the battle right there. Very interesting.
Okay. I'm pleased with that. I've got all 4 columns on the battlefield.
Yeah. This is good. The French have a column coming on from a flank here. This will be interesting.
And we also know the makeup of column number 3, which is good. So I know what's facing me in the centre of the battlefield. I just don't know what column 1 is yet.
Yeah. All right, so that's that. Victory points, I think the French are leading with 1, 2, 3, 4. The Russians have 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's
4 each, yeah.
Well, no, because that
number
the
4
mark on the dice is nothing. The mark on the dice 4 is nothing.
on D5.
Yeah, D5. There's nothing under there.
Yeah.
How did that get?
Yeah, you move the white disc by mistake.
Just moved him across. Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, you just moved him down, didn't you, from C5?
Yeah, initially I captured that village, but I moved out of it, didn't I?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, all right.
So I put 4 back where he should be.
It's 4 to 3.
Yeah. Curtis, do you want to put 4 back where he should be? That's
So now we beat the French.
Yep, game's over. Thanks for joining us, folks. See you next week.
yeah, so now we annihilate the French in the centre and the left before the
Reserves come on.
second column that hits us on the right.
Yes.
Good play. That was good. You guys managed to get everything into the battle.
Yeah.
Let me check your columns here. What is column? The Russians.
Whoa, oh, hang on, don't you tell him yet.
No, I'm just looking at my own. I'm looking for myself. I want to see what column 4 is. I know what it is now. Now, also, Napoleon and Kutuzov and any unattached sub-commanders will always be in the battle, so you don't have to worry about them. Right from the get-go, they're going to be on the tabletop. Also, every cavalry unit that was deployed on a recon roll will also be deployed on the tabletop for the battle, right at the start. Although the chances are good they'll have some fatigue, but we'll say at the start of the battle. And this will be what defines the battlefield. You're going to have a nice river down the middle here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a French flanking force here coming into the open. We do have a village to fight over, which will be cool.
Yeah, that's the extra point, isn't it?
Yeah, if you capture that objective, which is worth 1 victory point, you, Ian, will be at 4 victory points, and the French will be at 3. And you'd win the battle.
Well, General Bagration will be, that's going to be his task, because I'm going to attach both my sub-commanders to units right from the get-go. Right. So the artillery and General Bagration will be attached to units once we get the battlefield laid out.
So what happens next is tonight I will set up this tabletop. Now these major terrain features will be present, like this road and river and these hilly area down here. That basically represents a single small hill. They will be on the table. There'll be 2 small hills over here. This village will be here. And there will be some marshes and a small wood up in this area. Again, they will be present on the battlefield. In addition, there will be a bunch of minor terrain features also added to the tabletop, which aren't represented on the map here. You'll see them as I lay out the table for tomorrow. Keep that in mind. Now, who declared this battle? The Russians?
Yeah.
Right. You will be the attacker in the scenario. You'll be going first.
Yeah.
The French will be both sides will be deployed by me. So give me your standing orders by tomorrow, how those columns are deployed and arrayed. Otherwise, I'm just going to set them up using the old Kriegspieler technique.
Yeah, I'll send you full details of how they're going to be laid out and how they're going to be deployed.
Yeah, this will be a good battle, Ian. Yeah.
Should be, yeah. Should be good fun.
I like it. All right, folks, that's our Scharnhorst campaign set up. If you want to watch the battle tomorrow, just tune in. I'll send out links. You can watch live. Otherwise, it'll be posted to the Tabletop Commanders YouTube page, I believe, somewhere in there. But you'll be able to watch this later, if not live. So stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for the links, and let's see what happens. Can the Russians take this position from the French? French have an advantage. Victory points. They are defending across a minor river. Well, it's going to be up to the Russians to be pretty aggressive here to get that village under their possession. So let's see what happens, folks. Till then, see you soon. Take care, folks.
Great stuff. Now he's got that sorted. We need to we'll need to have a little conflab, lads, so that I can